The fury unleashed immediate devastation. Nuclear war brings unimaginable destruction. At the heart of this devastation lies the nuclear explosion. Temperatures soar hotter than the sun, instantly vaporizing anything nearby. A blinding flash is followed by a shockwave. This wall of pressure levels buildings and obliterates everything in its path. The intense heat from nuclear explosions ignites massive fires. These fires spread rapidly, merging into colossal firestorms. Powerful updrafts pull smoke, debris and soot high into the atmosphere. This deadly cocktail rises into the stratosphere, forming a dark shroud over the planet. The true horror of nuclear war unfolds in the days and weeks that follow. A shroud of darkness, the onset of nuclear winter. As soot and debris accumulate in the stratosphere, they block sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface. Temperatures plummet, plunging the world into an artificial winter. This is nuclear winter, a chilling consequence of nuclear war. The once familiar seasons vanish as temperatures drop dramatically. Sunlight, essential for life, is significantly diminished. The planet plunges into a state of perpetual twilight. Photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into energy, is severely hampered. Crops wither and die in the fields. Forests once teeming with life become barren wastelands. Animals deprived of their food sources begin to starve. Entire ecosystems collapse as the delicate balance of nature is shattered. It is a global catastrophe that threatens the very survival of life on Earth. A chilled and barren world. The impact on agriculture. Agriculture, the backbone of human civilization, is decimated by nuclear winter. The sudden drop in temperatures and sunlight disrupts growing seasons worldwide. Crops that once flourished are now unable to survive. Fields that once yielded bountiful harvests become barren wastelands. The mid-latitude regions, known as the breadbaskets of the world, are hit particularly hard. The impact on food production is catastrophic. With crops failing on a massive scale, global food reserves dwindle rapidly. Panic and desperation set in as the reality of a global food shortage becomes all too clear. Nuclear explosions release radioactive fallout into the atmosphere. This fallout contaminates soil and water sources, rendering them unsuitable for agriculture. The ability to produce food, the most basic human necessity, is severely compromised. The shadow of famine, a global crisis. As global agriculture collapses under the weight of nuclear winter, a terrifying consequence emerges: famine. With food supplies dwindling and distribution networks shattered, billions of people face starvation. The specter of mass death looms large over the planet. The competition for dwindling resources leads to conflict. Nations, once allies, turn on each other in a desperate scramble for survival. Social order breaks down as chaos and lawlessness grip the world. The very fabric of civilization begins to unravel. The mid-latitude regions, heavily reliant on agriculture, suffer the most. Food prices skyrocket, making it impossible for many to afford even basic sustenance. Malnutrition becomes widespread, weakening immune systems and making people more susceptible to disease. The social and moral structures that underpin human society crumble in the face of such overwhelming hardship. Regional impacts, from catastrophe to crisis. While the effects of nuclear winter are global, the severity varies depending on the scale of the nuclear exchange and geographical location. A limited regional conflict, such as a nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan, would have devastating consequences for the region and disrupt global agriculture. A larger-scale nuclear war involving major powers would result in a far more catastrophic nuclear winter. Global temperatures could plummet by tens of degrees, plunging the planet into a deep freeze. The northern hemisphere would bear the brunt of the impact. The southern hemisphere, while still affected, would experience less severe consequences. However, the global collapse of trade and the ensuing chaos would eventually reach their shores. No corner of the globe would be spared from the consequences of a full-scale nuclear war. A changed world, the long shadow of nuclear war. The long-term consequences of nuclear war extend far beyond the immediate devastation and the subsequent nuclear winter. Even if humanity manages to survive the initial onslaught and the ensuing famine, the world that emerges from the ashes would be vastly different from the one we know. Radioactive fallout would contaminate vast areas, rendering them uninhabitable for generations. The ozone layer, which protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation, would be severely damaged. the social and political landscape would be transformed. The institutions that govern human society would be weakened or destroyed. The trust and cooperation that underpin international relations would be shattered. The world would likely descend into a new era of conflict and instability. The trauma of witnessing such unimaginable destruction would leave lasting scars on the human psyche. The fear of annihilation would hang over every aspect of life. Nuclear war represents the greatest existential threat facing humanity. We must choose a different path, one that embraces peace, diplomacy, and the pursuit of a sustainable future for all.